Hi everyone, it's Melissa and welcome back to another Friday Reads and Rambles. I don't think I posted a Friday Reads last week, so this will be a bit of a catch up. So first thing I want to talk about is, we'll talk about this first, I guess. I'm going to be continuing my buddy read of Moby Dick with Courtney Ferriter. I don't have a lot to say about this. We're still enjoying it. I think buddy reading it was a good call because there's kind of like a lot to discuss in this book. It's not what I expected. I don't think it's what Courtney expected either. There are dry bits to it, but I think on the whole it's a lot like funnier and more engaging than I thought it would be. And we will probably finish this up, I think, in 2 weeks, by the end of March for sure. So I am happy to continue reading that. And the next thing, I actually finally finished The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams. This is the first in an epic fantasy trilogy. It took me a long time to read. I'm doing this as part of a read along, and this was the book for January, but I finished it like well into February. Because, well, first of all, it's long. It's like 600 and some odd pages. And also, there's like a lot of world building, a lot of characters. There's language, there's geography, like all those things in epic fantasy that take a while to feel settled in. And I'm a slow reader anyway. I just can't like zip through a book like that quickly. And so this slowed me down even more. But I really enjoyed it, especially the last section of this I thought was really, really good. So I'm happy to continue on. And I have already started the next book in the trilogy. This was the book for February, Stone of Farewell, but obviously February is over, so I'm going to be taking a good portion of March probably to finish this, because this is also close to 600 pages. I am on page 90 right now, and I am enjoying this off the bat this time. The last time it took me a while to like get into it, but I think because I already know the characters, I'm familiar with the world, I understand a little bit more. I can also more easily differentiate between the characters, which I was getting them confused in the first book sometimes. So this I kind of have hit the ground running, and although I'm not reading it quickly, I am reading it more quickly than the last book, so I don't think this will take me quite as long. And yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. I have just finished The Two Towers. I have been listening to Lord of the Rings on audiobook. I started back in December, and obviously I think the audiobooks together are like over 60 hours or something, so I've been taking it kind of slow, but Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite books of all time, and I love it. It's very comforting to me. I like being in Middle Earth and spending time with these characters again, and I really, really enjoyed Fellowship, but now that I've listened through Two Towers, it's reminded me how much I love Two Towers. It's just like perfection to me. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I finish up Return of the King, but I feel like Two Towers is probably my favorite like section of Lord of the Rings. And yeah, so I've been really, really enjoying listening to that. The narration is wonderful. It's narrated by Rob Inglis, and I think he just does a fantastic job of like all the characters. Like he sings all the songs. Like it's just great. I think his Gollum is pretty good too. Like now that like Gollum's in the mix in The Two Towers, and he's had to do that voice, I was a little worried because what's his name? The guy who did Gollum in the movies, Andy Serkis. He did such a great Gollum / Smeagol that I was kind of worried, like, is anything going to live up? But I think he's holding his own. So, yeah, really, really enjoying that. Yeah, and what else? Oh, I finished a middle grade graphic novel called New Kid by Jerry Craft, and I'll talk about this kind of like at the month's wrap up at the end of March. But I thought it was awesome. If you like middle grade, definitely would recommend. If you have like a middle grade reader in your life, I would recommend. Like it touches on some topics of like racism and like more like microaggressions, nothing like super heavy, but still like difficult topics. It's about a new kid at a school, like a private school, and like he's one of very few minorities. It was just really, really well done. I think the way things were explained was like understandable to kids without like talking down to them and without making things like super palatable, if you will. So yeah, I just thought it was like super, super well done. Would highly recommend that. Something else I've started for middle grade March. I love middle grade all year round, but I make like a concerted effort during March to read a little bit more middle grade. And I have been reading Tristan Strong Destroys the World. So this is the second book. I read Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky last year and really liked it a lot. I like the character of Tristan. I think he's really well done. He's like a 12 or 13-year-old kid. And in the first book, he's kind of struggling with some grief. He lost a friend, and he goes to spend like the summer with his grandparents at their farm, and he accidentally punches a hole, like creates this rift into this other world, where African-American folktale characters and also like African like folklore mythology, like all those stories exist in real life, and he like obviously gets transported to this world, and it's like another one of those middle grade books that handles some very heavy topics, but in a way that is accessible and that doesn't talk down to kids and doesn't like paint a everything is fine picture, but does it in a way that's not like too much. And just like that whole world that he goes to is just so like fantastical, but like grounded in like history. And I just thought it was like so well done. So looking forward to continuing the second book. I've read like the first 3 or 4 chapters, and it's reminded me how much I like the character of Tristan, so I think I'm going to really enjoy it. And the other thing I started, which I'm probably going to read rather slowly, is a nonfiction called Eloquent Rage by, oh my gosh, I've forgotten her name, Brittany something. I want to say Cooper. I don't know if that's right. I will make sure. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it below, all that kind of stuff. But it is about her journey through feminism to find like Black feminism, and her finding her voice and like figuring out how to use rage like in a beneficial way, I guess. Obviously, I'm only like early days with this book. I think I'm on chapter 2 maybe, and right now she's talking a lot about her friendships and her relationships with other Black women, and the book is a bit of a slap in the face if you're white. I will say that, but like in a good way, in a holy crap, like I didn't realize any of this, and like confronting you with your own like white feminism and how you have most likely like harmed people without realizing it. And it's very well done. I think her like she's definitely like mad about things in the book, and like that's clear, but her tone is quite like humorous. Like she brings a lot of wit to her writing. Anyway, I'm really enjoying that as well. So those are the things I have read and have been reading, and I'm going to be starting Wuthering Heights. I don't know when. I'm hoping this week, but I want to kind of finish off a book or two first. I don't think I want to add anything else like onto my plate right now. But hopefully this week, if not the week after, I will be reading Wuthering Heights. So for my Rambles section today, I have something lighthearted and something not. So we'll start with the not lighthearted and we'll end on like a more positive note. Nothing like drastic or anything, but there's been some really great videos come out, not this past week, but I think the week previous. I'm just a little bit late discussing it here because I didn't film a Friday Reads last week, I don't think. But a lot of discussion about like mental health and like mental health on Booktube, and the 2 videos I want to mention in case you missed them were one, it was a discussion between Barb at the Font and Kit from Kit's World. I forget whose channel it was posted to, but I will find the video and link it below, where they talked about mental health. The discussion was focused through the lens of like mental health on Booktube, but I thought that was a great discussion. And the other one was on the Poptimist, and he had a video kind of talking about like how he's been feeling like quite low because of the intersection between like COVID fatigue, like now we're coming up on like a year of like being isolated, and also like that intersecting with like seasonal depression. And his videos particularly really resonated with me because I do get seasonally depressed. Like when there's low sunlight, it like really affects me. Thankfully, I have been able to like manage that with like getting outside sunlight, and like other like exercises and stuff I do for myself. So it hasn't become like a super, super big issue, but I do feel it every year. And I really did feel it this year. Like the last couple weeks like have been quite low, mostly because I haven't been able to get outside like I'd like to, because we had like a cold snap and I just like couldn't get sunlight, and it like my mental energy was just drained. I had a good reading week, but like mentally I was just like not with it. So yeah, I really resonated with that video because as someone who lives in a climate that's really cold right now, where it's hard to get out sometimes, where there's not a lot of sunlight. The daylight hours are increasing, and that's been helpful, but it can be quite difficult. So I'm in that kind of like countdown till like summer kind of mode, even though I actually really enjoy winter. Like I am someone who like hates the heat of summer, and I hate humidity. So I don't dislike winter, and I like winter sport and stuff. But the sunlight is just, I'm just like so over the darkness and all that kind of stuff. I think another factor has been like, with like the whole COVID thing and like being at home for like a year, like, yes, like that's dragging on me, but also the fact that, I'm not completely happy with my local government's handling of certain things. So like, and like Canada on a whole, like we just, don't have like a lot of the vaccine available. So because of where I fall on the priority list of vaccination, initially they said like around September, but they're already like 2 months behind on their vaccination. So like I'm just kind of feeling that like sense of hopelessness is a little bit strong of a word, but just that sense of like I'm probably not going to be vaccinated to until the end of this year, maybe even early 2022. I don't know. Maybe things will turn around where Canada can get some more vaccinations, or like some more of the vaccine, and I could get vaccinated earlier than that. But like this is going to drag on for like another year for me, and so like that's been weighing on me as well. Yeah, if you've been kind of like, if you've been feeling it, I'll leave those videos below. Like maybe we can commiserate a little bit over that. But I wanted to end on a lighter note. I'm fine, by the way. Like I'm not like down in the dumps. It's just been a little bit of like a brain fog situation happening. Anyway, I wanted to end on a bit of a lighter note, and that was because the last Friday reads I did, I talked about, I showed some like pins I had bought, and I had mentioned kind of like, oh yeah, like I wear these on my toque. And then someone, who was it? I think it was Margaret, maybe. Someone said like, what's a toque? And I was like, oh, this is like Canadianism that just like slipped out. It's a winter hat. So I brought some to show you. Maybe I'll do one for my thumbnail so you can see it. But it's like a winter hat. A lot of times they have these little pom-poms, but like you can also just have toques that like look more like this without a little pom-pom. And you can get them just like, my husband has one that's just like black because he's too cool for cute little raccoons, I guess. But they're just winter hats, but we call them toques. And they just look like that, and they keep your ears and your head warm when it's cold. I like the ones with the pom-poms. And this is how I wear like my pin. So this is one that I have. Oops. So that's my life finds a way pin, which still cracks me up every time. But I just like have it on this toque, and like I wear it out like that. So that's what a toque is. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I hope everyone's doing well, and we will chat soon. Take care.